This is my Fluval Roma 200. I'm just going to clean out the filter. I'm not going to do a water change, as I don't do water changes at the same time as cleaning the filter. There's the inlet. I've just changed some plants over, so there's a few leaves on it. So this is my 1400 litre an hour All Pond Solutions external canister filter. Which does seem a little overkill for a 200, but I think it's perfect, to be honest. It gives a nice flow and does a really good job of filtering. I'd rather go over than under. It's got this cool little cap on it, so you can take the pipes off and they won't leak out. Obviously they do a little bit, but they don't fully leak out, so you can just leave the pipes in there, clean them at a different point. Obviously got to be done in the bath. So I've had this filter for probably close to a year, I think. Usually clean it out every 2 months or so, doing weekly water changes, and it's usually pretty dirty, to be honest. I recently changed out the plants, as I said, because the plants I had in there weren't doing amazing, but they were typical for just the leaves just coming off and just going in the filter, and it just made a bit of a mess. So I basically took them out completely and changed them for some bigger leafed ones that aren't going to just break up, which means there was quite a bit of leaves in this one. So I'm still trying to just get rid of it by just filtering it all out. There's a few differences of this filter of what you would get if you just bought it. Like, there's quite a few more buyables than actually came with it. This is basically just because I've had different filters in the past, bought second-hand tanks that have come with extras, and I basically just made the best filter I could out of the stuff I had. I've got some floss, I think it's called, which is what I'm washing here on each layer. Don't go mental with the cleaning, but try and get it as clean as possible with a few little washes. This filter pumps down through all the filtration and then back up through the tube, like the hole. That's why there's all holes in the baskets. So that's the way it works. The filter sponges you see me washing here are just bought square filter sponges that I've cut to the size of the baskets, and then just cut the little hole, because they didn't actually come with filter sponges, so I just made my own. They don't seem to pick up as much as I'd like. The bottom ones with all the bioballs with the floss in there seems to catch most of the dirt, so I'm not really too sure what's going on there. It seems to be like the filter's running backwards, but I'm sure I'll have a look at that sometime in the future. So I put all the bioballs back into the water. There's another floss there, which is really dirty. And then I got a couple of bags of the carbon, which is supposed to make the water nice and clear, removes odours and impurities. So the bioballs I always clean in the filter water. It doesn't get them as clean as I'd like them, especially when there's plants in there and little leaves, but I basically just swill them off in the water, then lay them down in one of the baskets and then clean the filter out itself. I clean everything else in tap water, which is, some people do, some people don't, but I clean everything else apart from the bioballs in tap water. This is the little filter propeller, which I had a bit of trouble getting out because my hands are slippery and it's a magnet. So I just swilled it out and then I did get it out eventually. So there's the bioballs back in with the carbon and the floss. So now the filter's obviously empty, so we need to fill it back up. Some people use tap water, but I use the tank water itself and then fill the tap water back up in the tank. Just use this little siphon that I use for a smaller tank, just to get a little bit of water in the filter itself before I try and prime it. Some people give these filters bad reviews because they leak or the seal goes bad, but in my experience I've never had an issue. I've made sure I always push down on the lid before I clamp it and I've never really had an issue. This is me just making a mess, obviously. The lid back on to give it a bit of a push down before I put the clips on. I do like this filter because the inlet pipe is black and it doesn't look too bad, and the outlet pipe you can sit real high in the tank, so the actual lid covers it. So all you see is that inlet pipe. Because I've drained water out of the tank into the filter, I need to fill the tank back up because the outlet is now not underwater, so when I try and prime it, it sucks air back in. So I'm just putting a bit of water back in the tank. Obviously used water conditioner. That's the outlet, just showing you that it's above the water, so that is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I'm putting the water back in, otherwise it sucks air back in. So now it's done, prime it. Apparently you meant to hold it down for a few seconds, but I didn't really feel like that worked, so I give it a few pumps as well. Once it's done that, I'll then plug it in. It'll pump through a little bit, wait till the air's gone from that, and then I tilt it from side to side just to try. You can see the air being pushed out there. So I tilt it one way, make sure the air's gone, and then do each of the other ways. And there we go. Here's a few close-ups of the fish. Obviously what it's all about. These are some of the gouramis that are in here. This is a community tank, so there's all sorts in here. Different shrimp, snails and things as well. but these are probably my favourite. So I just thought I would share a little video of me cleaning my filter out. It's not the best way, but this is how I do it. Thanks for watching.